wanted to sort of hop on a live here and kind of collect our thoughts on the news happening around the postseason. A big one is the FIFA Women's World Cup schedule has dropped, so folks can start planning accordingly. Listen, if you're the type of person that loves big events and you have the ability and means to go participate and take in a women's World Cup, congratulations. For those of you who are not, this is very helpful to maybe schedule around your sleeping patterns, or sort of highlight which games you want to take in.
Mhm.
Kickoff times are ranging anywhere from 1 p.m. in New Zealand to 8:30 p.m. in Perth, Australia, because it's being co-hosted by New Zealand and Australia. So there's a lot to get into here, but we obviously are keeping an eye on Group E and the United States Women's National Team.
Of course we are. I mean, full disclosure, I am horrible at time zones. Sandra will attest to this because we are in different time zones when we record, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening, which way are our hours going. I'm so bad at it. Thank goodness for Google, because there are time zone translators that you can, and converters, that's what they're called, time zone converters. So you can put in the time zone of the match, especially for US fans if you're looking at the schedule, because FIFA dropped it. I will link that in the description of this episode, the new FIFA schedule that has all the different times and every single match that'll be played. So you can just plug in the time and then put in your time zone into the converter, and it'll tell you what time it is, because we are a whole day apart. If you're in the United States on the East Coast, we're a day apart. So when you look at specifically like the United States group, the opening match that the U.S. will play against Vietnam is being played on July 22nd. Kickoff will be 1 o'clock in New Zealand, but that is July 21st, 8 p.m. in New York, and then 5 p.m. in LA. So it's the day before if they're playing that like 1 o'clock game. So you gotta be aware of that if you see that on the schedule. So it's not the 22nd, it's actually the 21st at 8 p.m. in New York and 5 p.m. in LA. But 8 p.m. is not too bad, Sandra. I mean, the last time we covered an international tournament, we were covering it remotely, and it was when the Olympics were in Tokyo, and those times were nuts. So it was like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., which is tough, especially in the summer. So it's a little bit better with an 8 p.m. And then the United States second match against the Netherlands is actually at the exact same time. So 1 o'clock in New Zealand, and then the day before, 8 p.m. East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. And then the third group match is against a opponent they don't know yet. That's the playoff nation that will get into the World Cup. That'll be 7 p.m. New Zealand time, which is 2 a.m. in New York and 11 p.m. in LA. So the times are ranging a little bit here, but we're 9 months out. People can start circling these dates on their calendar and understand, like, hey, there's the 2 a.m. kickoff time. I've got to either go to bed early and wake up, or just stay up late on that night, for sure. I mean, that's what I'm doing for sure.
I mean, listen, we gotta, having the schedule drop is already giving us a window, right? A peek into the window of what things can look like in the summer, in July. I know I'm excited about it. I want to shout out Allison Gale, who made a really cool website for folks to utilize. It's 2023 wwc.allisongale.com. You can play around with the schedule, the map, the itinerary of the 2023 World Cup in New Zealand and Australia. You can filter by teams that you want to follow. You can filter by cities that you want to follow. Throw in your time zone, compare it to the local time zone. It's very, very cool, and it is a very, very helpful tool. When I saw that, I was like, gosh, I love it here.
I love smart people that can create these things to make dumb people like me understand the world better.
I was like, I absolutely love it here. Like, it just, talk about coming through clutch and just really being able to come through for so many in the space and in the community who want to watch this tournament, quite frankly. So I'm sure there's going to be, a lot more fun things to chat about in terms of the schedule. So maybe you're not here for the women's national team. Let's just be real. Maybe you're not here for the U.S. women's national team. Maybe you just want to take a look at those knockout rounds, the round of 16, the quarterfinals, the semis, the final. You want to see those elimination high stakes type of games. You could do that too. You could just sort of play around with the different paths to those knockout rounds, and then sort of figure out how to schedule around your timing along that. So I know folks are, if you missed it, we did a World Cup draw reaction episode. So I just want to plug that here as well. Please go take a look at that. We chatted all about Group E, the United States women's national team group, how there's still some things to be determined there, right? Because they have a playoff winner that in the Interconfederation playoff. It's playoff winner A, if I remember correctly, that is going to slot in to that fourth team within that group. So it's either going to be Portugal, Cameroon, or Thailand alongside Vietnam. And Netherlands as well with the United States. So we talk all about that. We talk a little bit about who we thought our group of death is, who we thought our group of chaos is going to be. So check it out on YouTube if you haven't, or wherever you find your podcast. It's like if it's not the NWSL championship, Lisa, I just find myself also getting excited about the World Cup as like every day goes by.
Yes, completely. It's all happening. I think getting the times right. Like we had the schedule for the World Cup for the last several months, but we didn't know the groups and who was going to be in where. So after the draw, once you knew the groups, I mean, I looked at the schedule and I was trying to figure it out, because once you know Group A, but then it's like the positioning. And now that it's officially out and it's set, it feels so real, especially because the men's World Cup is about to kick off as well. That's around the corner. I'm truly excited for that as well, to kind of watch our men's United States team and see what they do. But it's crazy to think that like all the soccer world's combining, right? Because the NWSL and their playoffs is happening, and then we have the World Cup schedule. It is going to be a very exciting year of soccer starting now until like next October, right?
It's like a puzzle. You know what I mean? Like it's like a puzzle. Like we've just sort of like been getting we've gotten new pieces, right? To sort of put in within this larger puzzle. And it's just, it's like a full picture that you're starting to see come together. And that's what's been so delightful about it for me. And of course, I love hopping on here and in the mornings and getting on a live and chatting about it with you, and chatting about it, with our viewers, and, all generating all the excitement that there is around it so far.